Doa is the sign language interpreter. Now, the tug of the judiciary being under the influence of the executive and the legislature is one the courts are yet to shake off, as Kenyans feel the heat of what they deem as justice not being achieved, even in the courts. Now, Chief Justice Koome attributes the failure to have effective delivery of justice to underfunding by the executive and parliament. Koome adds that the limited number of judges have to take work home and even lose sleep. And NTV's David Mudhoka reports there is keen attention on how much justice will be served for victims of atrocities during the Gen Z-led protests when matters get to the judiciary.
And the presentation of this report really...
The heat in the judiciary's kitchen has been rising, with claims that the courts have been captured by the two other arms of government.
The surveys indicate that many Kenyans, including the younger generations, still perceive the judiciary as too susceptible to bribery and too prone to political pressure.
The Law Society of Kenya will continue to work hand in hand with the judiciary, but will also remain your critical side. We will congratulate you when you have done well, and we will criticize you when you fail to uphold the rule of law.
Chief Justice Koome, while at the launch of the State of the Judiciary and Administration of Justice report, stood in defense of her arm of government.
If you have given birth to an institution or a child, you nurture them. You don't call them ugly every day. You don't call them incompetent every day.
Among the key frustrations for many Kenyans is how the Gen Z-led protests played out and what they spoke to the country and the drive for justice for victims, which remains unachieved.
In my 22 years of service in Parliament, that was my lowest moment. It's my prayer, and I have faith that we'll be able to work together, we'll be able to convince our youth, because the events of that day also reminded me that we are not doing well, all of us as public officers, when it comes to public trust. Our people seems to believe negative things easily than things that are positive, no matter how many times we repeat positive things.
I think that the Gen Z protests over the summer were a litmus test for Kenya's democracy and for her judicial system. And I think it is fair to say that we're still collectively waiting to see full justice done.
Among the concerns around the independence of the courts over the years has been the collusion of the legislature and the executive in dealing with the judiciary through suppressed budgets, especially when courts have unfavorable rulings. And this still remains a pain point and has been for the last 3 consecutive years.
We received 22.4 billion, which was significantly below what was budgeted for. As you know, we budgeted for 43.1 billion.
As a result, Koome says the judiciary has been significantly understaffed, an issue that she says denies judges sleep at night.
Before I became a judge, I never imagined a fire would intrude my bedroom. But I can assure you I sleep with several of them. And so are these judges who are in front of you, who have to wake up in the middle of the night and catch up with a paragraph or two. Or sometimes you cannot even sleep because the solution has come in form of a dream and you have to wake up and write it down. Am I right?
Government leaders present promised to allocate the judiciary more funding in the coming financial year, while applauding the institution for opening new courts, digitizing court functions, and accelerating the delivery of justice, despite receiving less than half of what was budgeted for. Despite having to depend on the executive and the legislature mainly for funding, the judiciary has yet again been urged to execute its mandate independently by upholding the rule of law always. David Mudhoka, NTV from the